Alright, hang on. Should just be in the Xbox party. Should be right at the top, include your audio. Right, let me just check the stream, make sure our audio is good.
Alright.
What shall I refer to you as? Just Potra?
Portrait, yeah.
Potra, alright, cool.
Oh, it looks like we're getting started now. Tommy in the Aston Martin looks like he's on his art lap already.
Just checking. Yeah, cool. Audio's working. Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to another race for the RCRL Tier 1 Championship. My name is Wado, and I am joined by Potra this evening for commentary. Potra, mate, how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing good. We've just had our races, respectively, and now I am ready to watch the big dogs go up in Tier 1. Always exciting.
Hell yeah, it's going to be a good race. It's looking very overcast here at Monza. It's looking maybe a potential bit of rain. If anyone is watching in the chat, do let us know about any sort of conditions. We really appreciate that. First person out on a lap is looking like it is the Aston Martin of Tommy. Recently watched him. Is he going to be going for a lap here? He's currently on the medium tyres, which is an interesting call. We've got quite a few people on the medium tyres actually. Tommy's going to be the first person to go for a lap here. Portrait, mate, why don't you take us for a lap here at Monza?
So going into this first chicane, it's looking like Tommy's done it quite cleanly. Everything has all about the exit going through this corner 3, I think it is corner 3 or 4. You're going to come into another chicane. Monza's all about the chicanes actually, and getting the solid exits down the straight. The chicane's a bit trickier. There's a bit of a bump there on the inside curve there, which if you hit could shake things up for you coming out through the exit. But he looked to navigate that quite okay, but he did go a little bit wide. Coming out here, you see we're going into our second DRS straight. Looks like he had a decent exit. At the end of the straight, we have our third and final chicane of the track. It's a bit of a sketchy one to get through. Very hard to gauge the traction on it, and the exit can be a little bit shaky. A lot of people do spin out there, but he's looked like he's doing quite well coming through here. Through Parabolica, I believe this is the double right-hander, single right-hander, depending on how you look at it. And right to the finish line, which comes a lot quicker than you think. And he set a time of 1:22.0 on the medium tyre.
Thank you very much for that, Portra. So that was on the medium compound tyre as well. We are going to expect to see some faster times coming in. We've got some yellow flags in Sector 2. I would suspect that's just some people. We've got McLaren and Milan just moving through. As
That's
Man
significantly faster.
That is a very good time, I must say. Now, I can only really reference what Tier 2 happened there. The pole position time in Tier 2 was a 1:20.5, and Dublin Man has already put in the first time on the soft tyres with a 1:26, but Rosie is already going to top that with a 1:25, so he's already matching the pole position times with Tier 2. We would expect... Yep, go ahead, mate.
And this is in Q1, like you expect the track to improve as the qualifyings go on. So we should expect even faster times in Q2 and Q3, provided that there isn't any rain.
Absolutely, track evolution will play a huge factor in this. Matt Vell goes P4 with a 22.2. Thomas Ord, we've got a whole load of times covered. Thomas Ord goes P6 at 29.9. He's going to have to gain some more time there. Jensen goes 21.6 into P3 there in the Ferrari. Ferrari's home race, looking to get some good points here today. Potra, maybe a bit early to call, but any predictions? Do you have any predictions for this race?
I haven't been watching a lot of Tier 1 recently, but from what I know you can really never count out Gudenrav, who seems to be getting out there, and it looks like Viara Rosie almost lost it into the barrier. getting back to the predictions, I think Guden Rav is someone that you can't really count out. I'm not sure how he's doing on Monza, but I would be a fool to count him out. I think XTR Red might, in the last race I commentated, XTR Red had a very solid performance, and I think he might also make the podium again today. And besides him, I think that I want to go for Dublin, man, I believe it is. Just because it looks like in qualifying he does have the pace, and I think that he might just get a solid qualifying position provided he gets into Q3.
Well, thank you very much for those predictions there, Potter. We've got Dublin Man, XTR Red, and who was the first one you said?
Guden Rav. In no particular order.
Yeah, absolutely. Guden Rav has absolutely been on a very, very good, consistent pace from what I've seen throughout the Tier 1 Championship season.
What are your predictions?
Well, my predictions, I would definitely agree that I think Guden Rav is going to come through with the podium. I think XGR Red's going to do a good job as well, I think.
That's fair.
The third one, I think Matt Vale's looking quite strong today. Obviously, these are just early predictions, but I reckon Matt Vale could have a good race.
Oh, that's fair enough. You know, the exciting part of watching sports live is that you never really do know what's going to happen, and I'm excited to see how it does end up coming through at the end of the race.
Absolutely.
Absolutely,
mate.
Just a quick question, like, you know, I have been a fan of Formula 1 for a while now, and I don't understand the premise of running the medium tire so early on in qualifying, you know?
No, yeah, I don't get it either. Maybe if, well, from what, this is one possible explanation, it's probably completely wrong. What I've seen from the racing in Tier 1, it's obviously very consistent and very, very fast, as Martin in the Aston goes P3, 27. From what I've seen, it's very consistent and it's very hard to get into Q3 on the medium tyre. So perhaps what we're seeing here is these guys using up their mediums to just, you know, allow some more track evolution, so they're not wasting up their soft compound tyres.
I see, just not
the rest of the qualifying.
You don't want to really risk running the medium in Q2 in case you do fall out of the top 10 getting into Q3.
Precisely.
Oh, but interesting tactics going on, yeah?
It's just one explanation, one possible reason. I'm not too sure, but it's a tricky one to call because I've only seen a few. I think I did do a commentary on a race yesterday, and I think some people did manage to get through Q1 on medium compound tyres, which was a rather interesting strategy call. But I would just think it's just to go out and maybe get a feel of the grip on the track, an idea of where it's standing, that kind of thing.
Well, that's a fair assessment. I think that's actually quite on point. I didn't really think of it through from that perspective, but it does make a lot of sense when you do explain it to me.
So Rosie has already decided he's had enough of Q1 and is retiring on a 20.5. A very strong time, I must say. It's definitely going to be pushing for more times here. Still quite early on in the session, but I would suspect if you're going P1 as of now with a 25, it is going to be quite hard to dislodge that.
But looking at the times, it really only seems like 4 people are in striking distance within 3/10 of him. So it is a fair thing just to go retire out early, rest up the rest of qualifying, and maybe get your thoughts together for Q2. But it is always a risky strategy, just in case, just because you never really know with track evolution how much faster people might become in the later stages of qualifying.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is there are only 17 drivers in this session, in this race today, so he's probably got a pretty strong chance of getting
solid chance
as well. I'm not saying this is going to happen, but you often do see at least 1, maybe 2 drivers having a bit of a moment and crashing out of qualifying. Hopefully, we don't see that though.
Oh no, I think. I feel differently. I think it's always interesting to see, especially some of the stronger drivers, pushing a little too hard in qualifying. Just so that during the race you can see them kind of battle through the field. I feel like it does make it a bit more interesting just to see this pace differentials on track during the race. Extremely fast time there.
Very good time there from R7 Luke with a 120.3, outpacing Rosie already by 2/10. Brilliant stuff. So as you guys will definitely see in Tier 1, these times, they're always going to be very close. Yeah, they're going to fall, but they're also going to be extremely close, especially on a track like Monza, where there's not too many turns, there's not going to be too many spots to gain time at. It's going to be a lot harder to sort of find that time and get into the next round of qualifying.
Yeah, I think it's all just about how close to perfection that these guys in Tier 1 are. Like, it's a lot harder to optimize your lap when you're already pushing it so close to the edge of what is possible here. Like a 120.3 is already quite insane for Q1, and I feel like it's very hard for these drivers to kind of get inches on each other.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. It's going to be, these guys are obviously Tier 1, they're top of what the RCRL League can find. So these times are going to be very competitive and very strong. But it's just whoever can keep that consistency up to the max and just outpace people in terms of that consistency, that's who's really going to come out on top. Still got two people yet to put in a lap time here at Monza. Kills Rapid, he's coming into the pits now. He's going to need to put on the soft compound tyre and go for a lap. As well as Stone Elk, the owner of the league, he also is going to need to put in a time.
Yeah, it was a bit interesting. Oh, sorry, interrupted. It was a little bit interesting there. Kills Rapids did go out on the lap on the mediums, and before setting a time, he seems to just come in on his art lap. I guess he feels that maybe he's going to try again on a different compound.
Absolutely, yeah, I would agree with that one. He's really going to have to hurry up. How much time do we have left in this session?
5 minutes. 5 minutes,
so we've still got a fair bit of time left in the session. Lap times around here are about 1 minute 20. Well, yeah, it is. I'm looking right at the lap times right now. Out laps probably be a touch longer. You would expect drivers to come out for their final laps if at the absolute latest about 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes for the end, maybe 2 minutes if you're really ballsy. As Mert Fusions in the Alfa Romeo goes P2 as well with a very strong lap time as well. 123 again. Mert Fusions is looking very much on the pace recently. I definitely think he's had a few podiums in some past few races. Maybe we could see him on the podium again. But it's all it's just all the questions up in the air.
It's a very extremely competitive tier we have here, I must say.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, it really is up all in the air how it's going to end up for the races this evening.
And that is what often is just the beauty of it as well, because these guys are so competitive but also so close in terms of the competition. It's always going to, not every race is the same. Every race is going to create different dramas and different battles all throughout the field. So I definitely think it's going to be definitely one to watch.
Oh no, most definitely.
So we're still just waiting for these last few guys, Kills Rapid and Stone Elk, to put in the last times. But Dublin Man, yeah, I think Dublin Man's looking very much on the pace today. He goes fastest so far with a 120.2, only outpacing R7 Luke by about 100th of a second.
Yeah, even less than 100th of a second.
Less than 100th as well, yeah.
I think, geez, what's separating the top is minuscule times. Yeah, it's actually going to be extremely competitive towards the front of the grid. It looks like Stone Elk and Kills Rapid are on their flying laps. Yeah.
Alright, so we'll stay on board with no, that's the best time. So currently everyone is on the medium tyres. Kills Rapid is in fact ahead of Stone Elk, so I'll just stay on board with him for now, see what he can do. Second set time, he hasn't set a time yet, so we're not going to get any sort of delta time from him. Coming through the Sky chicane, Really, you want to ride those curves as much as you can while keeping the car as balanced as possible, because it's very easy to put your foot down just a touch too much and just losing the car completely. As he comes around on the parabolica now, we're going to see what sort of time he can put in. No pressure on Kills Rapid and Stone Elk, but you guys did leave it. Oh, that's the kind of times we're looking at.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Oh no, you just have to give yourself a tap on the back after that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Kills Rapid will be quite glad we stayed on board with him for that lap. That was rather fantastic. Top of the time boards as of now with a 120.26. So it is literally going to go down to those finite margins in terms of race pace. But we've got, I'm not sure if Milan's decided to retire from this qualifying session, referee DNF, because he's all the way down to 15th, and I would suspect Jensen and Thomas Sword are going to put in faster times, as Thomas Sword does go P8 with a 120.6. Merc Fusion's also decided to retire.
I'm sure that Stone Elk is actually feeling the pressure a little bit. He seems to be on the bubble, and
as he spins, the commentator's curse hits again.
Oh, it's not looking good for him. But there is the possibility that ETSR Jensen is not able to improve upon his time and is not able to topple Stone Elk from his position in P15.
He's going to want to put on a show for his home race, racing for Ferrari at the heart of the Tifosi, where the heart of the Tifosi lies, here at Monza. Charles Leclerc winning here in 2019 for the Scuderia. What can Jensen do is the question. Can he break into the top 15? You'd hope so.
It's actually looking brilliant so far in the parts that I've been watching his lap. And I am very interested to see if he is able to improve.
Well, he's coming across the line now. Can he improve? He does, but only by a bit, and only gets P14. And that is qualifying. That is the end of qualifying for now. The only person who can try and change this grid order as of now is Stone Elk. He's going to go on a lap now, and we're going to have to go on board with him to see what he can do.
Oh, this is a lot of pressure to be feeling. Like, geez, this is it for Stone Elk this evening. And provided he puts out a good lap, he can definitely improve by half a tenth, 600ths, and it's very possible that he gets up into P15.
Make sure we're watching that delta time in the top right position of the screen there. Can Stone Elk improve on his times? I've just dropped my controller, but I managed to save it.
It looks like he's getting a little bit of a toe over there in the back straight.
Well, a toe is always what you want here at Monza. As he comes onto the last straight before the parabolica, he's getting a bit of a toe there from the Ferrari of Jensen, I do believe, who has invalidated. But Lizard King is was in the pits, putting a 20.8, is currently at risk. What can Stone Elk do? He was only a touch up on his time. He goes across the line there and does not improve enough. So that will be it for Stone Elk's qualifying. Lizard King just managing to get through into that top 10 position, top 15 I should say.
You know what,
so we're running Q1 here. Yeah,
you know what, I must say, this was quite the brilliant qualifying. Like, quite entertaining.
It's only Q1.
Oh, it's only Q1, in fact. It's left me wanting more.
Well, we've got plenty more to come, I must say. We're just waiting for Jensen to retire in the pits. So, already chaos and excitement here at Monza in RCRL as two drivers are knocked out of the first round of qualifying. Let's just have a quick look, see who is through. There you are, there is your lineup. Stone Elk, the owner of this league, and Milan in the McLaren, unfortunately, are kicked out of qualifying one. But, I mean, look at those times. So, P1 to P7, or not, yeah, P7, P6, separated by 2 tenths. And then P1 to P15, separated by just over half a second.
Jeez. P1 to P4 is less than a tenth. Like, less than a tenth. That is absolute margins upon margins.
So what we've seen here is that every single second, not even second, millisecond, it will matter. You find any time at all, that could be the difference between Q2 and Q3.
Well,
Let's just sort of,
no, please go ahead.
I don't really know what to say at this point. We're just going to wait right around here for the start of... I'll tell you what we do need. We need ad breaks. We just need a quick ad break here.
You know, I think that's a solid idea. I think that we can make some money by selling some advertising space in these live streams. You know, we could be like radio presenters out here giving some advertising opportunities to companies that want to sell their products to our viewers. And it looks like Q2 is about to start in a few seconds.
20 seconds. So about 20 seconds we've got of advertising time. If anyone's looking to sponsor RCRL, please hit us up. But then we'll just be like the Formula One guys, you know, when they come up with like those tyre wear like sort of analytics on the screen, and they always say, so Verstappen will be catching Hamilton in 3 laps, powered by AWS, that kind of thing. Or
in the Formula One esports, are there AWS insights in the Formula One esports? I haven't watched a Formula One esports race in a bit.
I haven't watched it either, but I would think it might be, to be fair.
Flo, you know what, I think the insights are actually pretty decent sometimes. I feel like sometimes they do miss the mark, but sometimes they do give us a little bit more as the viewer, and it's very nice to keep track of what's going on in terms of the data.
Well, yeah, but sometimes us as like sort of hardcore Formula One fans just look at that and go, well, what? That's just what are you talking about? That's waffle. That's just pure waffle.
Yeah. The thing is, they're sometimes very off, extremely off. But I think maybe give it a few years to improve, and we can be getting some very cool insights out of the data, because that is what the teams are seeing in terms of data when they are sitting there at the pit wall trying to analyze what's going on.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. To be fair, well, you have a few. I think one of the most pointless ones might be like sort of the tyre life one.
Oh yeah, no, that one's terrible.
Because you look at that and sort of go, I mean, it's telling us a bit. Oh, okay, so their pace is going to be all right. It's just like there's nothing really there.
Yeah,
Absolutely nothing.
I think they should stick to more like concrete stuff. The one I like the most is the battle forecast, that it's called, where it kind of like predicts based on how much pace they're having, when are they going to catch up to the person, and it doesn't really try to do too much with it. I just think you just give us like, based on the data, how quick are you going to catch up on the next battle. That will be like a very nice, clean, precise piece of data. But then I think the moment they do start trying to be a little bit too abstract with it, with like tire life, like we start to see that the data just becomes useless.
Yeah, I know what you mean, to be fair. It's just, well, yeah. Because unless like you've actually got like a battle for the lead, it's going to be completely pointless.
Yeah. It looks like Lizard King, starting his flying lap.
Lizard King started his flying lap. I'm not sure who's out first. I think it might be... no, it's not Lizard King, actually. I think it's Matt Vell, actually, is the first one out. Man in the Haas. Yeah, the Haas are actually competitive in this Formula One, so we actually get to see this car. I'll tell you what we need, mate. We need a South African team. That's what we need.
You know, I don't... The thing is, we don't really have a bunch of... we don't really have much motor companies, car companies out here. I think...
Well, that's not a factor. Red Bull are a company. They're not.
Yeah, well,
an energy drink is challenging for Mercedes for the title currently.
That is true. I feel like Red Bull is a bit of an outlier, where they really are just trying to dip their dip their hands in about as much as they can get in terms of extreme sports.
Oh yeah, 100%. Oh yeah. To be fair, you go on their Instagram or their YouTube all the time, and it's just a load of people doing backflips while skiing. So like just load of what is it? What's this cycling where you like do a load of like
Oh,
kickflips?
BMXing.
BMX, that's it. Yeah. BMXing like motocross and cars.
It looks
yeah,
like it looks like the Haas didn't set a as competitive time as we would have hoped. He does seem to be about a second and a half down the road from Jay Hudson. He just seems to set quite a competitive time there in the Ferrari.
So currently we've got 3 drivers pulled 30 times on the medium compound tyre, the fastest being Rosie in the McLaren with a 1:21.1. JJ Hudson has actually gone for the soft tyres as for now, which I think is an interesting call, quite early on. He might have to go for another lap on those tyres or burn through another set if he can't get through, because as we saw, the qualifying times are going to, on the softs, are going to be about even faster as Tommy goes P1 for now with a 20.8.
You know, I was thinking about this before my race previously in Tier 3 about the soft to medium, the decision between soft and medium in Q2, and I thought just because of the dynamics of the F1 2021 game.
Just hold on a second, man. I think we've had a retirement of XTR Red. He is out. We just had a quick shot there. He is actually spun out of the spot. So is Thomas Ord. We've already got 2 retirements.
And you know,
to get shot there.
Thomas Ord did seem to. Thomas Ord and XTR Red did seem to qualify quite highly in the last qualifying. So it does seem like we do have a bit of one or two of the faster guys towards the back of the pack.
Absolutely, man. But that is already it for qualifying for XTR Red and Thomas Ord. Not what they would have wanted. XTR Red trying to push. I'm not even sure if he was on a fast. I would assume he was on a fast lap, but just not getting enough, getting too much, just oversteering like hell into the barriers as Martin in the Aston Martin goes P1 as of now, but not for long as Merc Fusion comes and takes his time absolutely away from him with a 1:20.3. I reckon we might see a 1:19. You know, someone's going to break into the 19s today. That's what I'm thinking.
I think definitely, I do definitely think someone's going to break into the 1:19s towards the end of the session or in the next one.
Because a lot of these guys will have been doing a lot of practice and time trials and just their own practice sessions, and quite a few of them I would think would have put in very, very strong time trial times, breaking possibly into maybe top 100. I've seen a few of these guys definitely around the top. Mm-hmm.
Which, when you think about it, is extremely, extremely impressive. Like, top 100 puts you in the top 1% of the top 1%. Like, it is it's quite impressive what these guys do and the sort of the dedication they have to F1 on Sundays.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I personally also do. Sorry, I was eating some pizza. I personally also do a lot. I also do time trials myself. My fastest time trial on here is probably a 1:19. I could do a 1:80. Sorry, not an 18, an 19:8. But these guys will hopefully be looking to break into that very, very easily.
Yeah, no,
their qualifying pace will always be just on a very, very strong level.
You do know, as once a while ago when I was one of the people watching these sort of streams and not really involved in league racing as much, I did kind of feel that a lot of the reason that some of these guys found pace had a lot to do with their setups, and I just wanted to, your take about it on how much the setup you have at your sim racing setup affects your times and how quick you can be.
Well, setups are obviously key to getting any good, well, time trial time in, or getting any decent race pace. You first do have to be careful establishing a good setup between one that's good in time trial, so that'll be, if it were to be strong there, it's also Luke goes fastest as of now with a 1:20.3 as well.
Extremely fast.
Very fast.
Getting closer and closer to that 1:19.
Closer and closer, but I reckon Track Evolution, it's going to come in Q3, I reckon, at the end of Q3, because the Track Evolution will be at its peak. But like I was saying about setups, obviously you need a setup. You always need a setup. You do need to have your setup personalised to your driving as well. You can't ever really just take the guy who's putting the world record. You can't really take their time and just put it on yourself, because their driving style will always be completely different to your own.
Of course.
You'd also want to think about how much wing is necessary and how much around the track. So for Monza, you'd want low wings.
Of course, always.
But you'd always want to make sure that you have enough wing to get round these. There's quite a few high-speed turns here, so you're going to need downforce in spots. It's always about finding that right balance. Can you find a low downforce setup that works for you? Do you lose too much time? Can you get good times through? Is it qualifying or race pace aimed at?
You know, you always do.
All these questions you do have to take into. Yeah, it's all good. All these questions you do have to take into account when making a setup.
Yeah, no, of course. I think like a lot has to do with thinking about how the tires will degrade if you have a setup with a little bit too little downforce, but you also can't be a sitting duck on the straights. So it does kind of make it a bit of a complex equation trying to figure out what's the best setup for you.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I'm not sure. There's probably a very few people. Just in league racing in general, who know exactly what each little, like the suspension adjustment, the anti-roll bar. I have a vague idea of what some of these do. But it's, again, find that right balance. Yeah, finding that right balance is absolutely key, and it's also really tricky to do.
Yeah, I feel like it does. You do need to be at that upper echelon, sort of to. Like be so in tune with the vehicle that you do understand how the anti-roll bar will affect you going through a certain corner, or whether or not adding that extra wing would be like a wise decision based on a certain myriad of factors.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think I ran 3.6 wings for my race today.
You see,
which. Yeah.
That is completely different from what I ran, which was five wings.
What would you do?
Not to say that it was better, I'm sure that my wing selection was significantly worse, but I just kind of like that biting by the fronts, by the fronts of the vehicle.
Yeah, I do get that, to be fair. I do also quite like. I do need a car that is quite responsive, so I do try and have. You can't have a car that's understeering, because I want. If I turn the wheel, I want the car to go where the wheel's going.
No, understood.
And I want it to be. I want it to respond, so I can get those corners done quickly. Actually, hang on, just quickly. Merc Fusion's just putting. Is he just putting a lap time on the medium compounder tyre? Have I just seen that? I think he has. I'm not sure. It wasn't there last. Oh no, he hasn't. His best time is on the soft. Sorry, he's going. Is he coming out of the pits?
I think.
Sorry. I'm getting caught up on some. He's coming out on medium tyres after already setting a time on the softs.
That's interesting. Cool. I think he's probably feeling that since the track has evolved, he might be able to best his time on the medium, provided that he goes out a little bit later. But it is going to be a bit of a tight call to make and quite difficult to do.
Yeah, surely, I don't think the track ever. Oh my God! You saw that?
That curb can end your evening really quickly.
That, yeah. They've. What's interesting is that I was doing practice for Monza, as Matt Vell actually sets the fastest time with a 120.3 as well. 120.3 is coming in very quickly here, but they're just all over the place. But I'm not sure what's up with that. Is that a glitch with that chicane? Because before the Portimao update, and even after the Portimao update, you could take that chicane by hitting the curb quite a bit. And then I think something's happened where if you go over it now, you just get launched in the air. So I don't know if you've noticed that. But
Oh no, I definitely did. I think it has a lot to do since the Portimao update, and because of the curbs in Portimao, they've kind of tweaked the characteristics of going over curbs to be a little bit more punishing. It does appear that they have
punishing.
Yeah, just because of the how it launches you up in the air. I don't think it did do that before. But I think it has a lot.
The thing is,
yeah.
I could have sworn that you could still take that normally even after the Portimao update, because I only noticed it like, what was it? It was like yesterday or the day before. I've absolutely no clue, but oh, there we go. There it is.
Oh.
There's the 119.
119.7, not just 119. That's 3/10 clear of the 20-second the 20-second bar.
So Rosie has already put in an absolute storm of a lap, outpacing Matt Vell by 6/10. So he has found so much time, and his qualifying already over. So we're going to be getting more and more lap times coming in as we are speaking. Lizard King has decided to abort his lap, and the Red Bull behind him of Goon and Rav has also decided to abort. We've got a Ferrari of JJ Hudson coming through now, and has invalidated, so he will he won't improve on his time. We have an Aston Martin. Yep.
I was about to say, it's interesting to note that Gunan Rav has come into the pits knowing that he's on the bubble here. We have Martin and ECSR Jensen seeming to be making a move for that number 10 position. Tommy
in the Aston Martin is going to come across the line now. What can he do in terms of times? He's going to go 120.3. Very good time, but nothing compared to what Rosie has been able to put in today. Jensen in the Ferrari at his team's home Grand Prix. What can he do in terms of his lap time? He stays P12 is what is going to happen. We've got the other Aston Martin of Martin 589377. Can he match his teammates' time or even beat it is the question. Coming across the line now, he's going to put in a... I didn't see. What was it?
It looked like he improved. It did look like he improved. I am not sure by how much, but it did look like his position had moved up.
And there it is. He had improved just, and boots Goon and Rav out of Q2. So your top 10 for this Q3 session. We have Rosie with an absolute storming time of a 119.7, outpacing Tommy in the Aston by 5, nearly 6/10. Matt Vell, R7 Luke follow closely behind with Merc Fusion, Double Man, Kills Rapid, Liz King, Martin and JJ finishing off the top 10. No one getting through on the medium compound. It's all softs over here.
I feel like we just have to talk about how brilliant of a performance that VRR Rosie put in towards the end. Kind of just surprising everyone on the field with that blistering time of 19.7.
Absolutely. I've absolutely no idea where that came from. 5/6 is a huge margin to the rest of the field. So if you look at the rest of the field, they're only separated by about just over a tenth, to be fair, because Tommy's got a 120.31 and then JJ's got a 20.46, so just like a tenth and a half difference from P2 to P10. But Rosie just coming in just absolutely insane lap time with a 19.7.
Very
Fantastic stuff.
big performance, a very big performance, and something that you do have to kind of applaud yourself for going into Q2. But the job is not done yet.
No, it is far from done. We've still got one round of qualifying left to go here at Monza for RCRL. Who will take pole position is the question today. Well, looking at these lap times, you would think Rolsey has got a very, very good chance and a very strong opportunity to come through to take pole position here at Monza. But again, what will we see? It's all to play for. Do not know what's going to happen because, like we said before, the small margins make all the difference.
That is true. That is true. If anything, Rosie has kind of played his card quite early, showing the pace he has, and it's kind of like put the ball into the other drivers' courts. You know what you need to do to get that P1. The real question is, can you put the lap together when it counts?
I guess that's also quite true. He has put the expectations for himself and for us very, very high. So it's see if he can match that. Unfortunately, for this qualifying session, we do have to say goodbye to Goon and Rav Jensen, posted out XTR Red and Thomas Ord. Fortunately, the latter two not even setting a time in this qualifying session, both crashing out in qualifying. So hopefully they're going to be trying to look to bounce back in the race. And we're waiting for, I assume, someone to ready up because we're waiting for the countdown to start. Going to Q3. Again, we need advertising so we can go like.
I'm busy looking at the sector times. And it's looking like VRA Rolsey kind of made a whole lot of his time on Tommy in Sector 1 and Sector 2. And Sector 3, actually. All three sectors he seems to have put like a 10, consistently chipping away at Tommy's time. And it kind of shows that he's having like a consistent level of performance throughout the lap, which other drivers don't seem to be able to match.
Yeah, I mean, if it came down to just like one or two sectors, you'd get maybe a good idea. Maybe he's running less downforce or maybe a touch more downforce, but strong in all three sectors is hard to counter. But we're going to be seeing what everyone else can do. Now we're into qualifying 3, the showdown, the final shootout here at Monza. McLaren of Rolsey is eager to get going. He's out first, kind of all the other drivers asserting his dominance on this track already. McLaren winning and getting a 1-2 here in Formula 1 real life, with Daniel Ricciardo taking his first win since 2018 Monaco. Let's see if Rolsey can replicate that at all.
Well, looking at his Q2 performance, it's more than possible.
Absolutely more than possible. It's just weaving about now, getting some heat into those tyres. The rest of the grid are all coming out for their out laps. I think a tow would definitely be good. Rolsey doesn't seem to think he needs a tow at the moment. This is just the first round of qualifying. So Rolsey currently putting in a 119. Who else can put in a 119? What should you predictions on who else can put in a 119 then?
I'm gonna go for a little bit of out there prediction and say that the top 6 will put out a sub 20 time. I predict that the top 6, whoever that may be, will all put up a sub 20 time, and if you aren't able to get that sub 20 time, you won't be making the top half of the qualifying table come the end of qualifying.
Very bold prediction there. I wouldn't, to be fair, again, track evolution is going to play a huge role in this round of qualifying, and I would not be surprised if it came down to that, and the top 5, top 6 all push into the 119s. Maybe not to an extent that Rolsey did in Q2, but we'll just have to wait and see. I think we've got a bit of scuffling at the back of the parabolica. People trying to get a tow around here. Look, we've got a Lizard King right on the back of Kills Rapid. Is Kills Rapid going to push for a lap here? I'm not sure, but he's got Lizard King right behind him. Lizard King's looking very, very close. I'm not
Ooh.
sure if...
It looks like VRA rolls. He just spun out on his out lap, or on his flying lap.
Ooh. Oh, and he's lost his front wing as well. Ooh, that's not what you want to see. Is the pressure already getting to him out after putting in a 197 in Q2, and now he's having to reach those expectations? But we've got a Haas of Matt. Was that Matt? No, who was that? That was R7 Luke, who's also spun out, I think, and lost his front wing. If I can get the camera angle. Can we go on board with Rosie and now just have a look behind him? R7 Luke definitely spun out there. I don't know if you saw that.
I did see that he spun out. I think that some of the drivers may have come out a little bit too overzealous into their first lap and been pushing a little too hard.
First lap time in for now at Monza, a 1:20.5. This was the fastest lap time that I think was in fastest lap time in Q1 was like a 1:20.3. So 1:20.5 as a double man comes through P2 with a 1:20.6. Kills Rapid comes through. Oh man, 1:20.0.
Fusion.
Merc Fusion putting in the fastest lap time of the session so far, a 1:20 dead. So the sub 19s are on the cusp. They are very close to coming. We've got more than a few lap times in, but you're gonna need to really push hard and push right to the limit if you're gonna want to get into those top positions. Merc Fusion already establishing his mark on this session of qualifying.
Well, it is looking quite competitive by everyone, to be fair. Merc Fusion kind of showing his class by separating himself from the field, but from P2 to P7 it does appear that there's less than 4 tenths separating them.
Absolutely. We've still got three drivers yet to put in lap times. R7 Luke and Lizard King both on flying laps now. What can they do in this session of qualifying? R7 Luke may have had a bit of a moment at the back of the start of this flying lap. What can he do? He's going to stay P8, so he's 26, so he 0, so he's got that lap was not really anywhere, but he must have made a very, very dire mistake when it came down to it. Rosie back on his out lap on a new set of soft tyres, I do believe. Indeed he is, already saying we're going to go straight out onto a new set. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to get a second lap in. He should be able to, but the question is whether that one will be as competitive. Because lap times are going to come down thick and fast. Go ahead, mate.
I do think that it is... I do think that it's quite impressive by Merc Fusion to have set quite as competitive time as he did, considering that his tyres didn't look to be fresh. I think he did this on his second lap out on the tyre, which is quite impressive, all things considered.
So we'd expect then for Merc Fusion to find a lot more time. I think we've got quite a few drivers who are out on, who have put times in on 2 lap old tyres. Yes, best times we're looking at Merc Fusion, JJ, Kills Rapid, Lizard King and Tommy all setting their times. Actually, R7 and Luke on 3 lap old tyres. The rest all setting their laps on 2 lap old tyres, so going for a second lap. And we're already halfway through this Q3 session, and now it is going to come down to everything. Rosie, currently purpling the first sector, is going to look to try and put a competitive time in before the rest of the grid starts making their final laps.
Looking like quite a competitive lap so far for Rosie. He's been keeping it a lot cleaner than his previous lap and is looking quite fast in the first 2 sectors.
Indeed he is. So going through sector 2 with a 50.2. I'm not too sure on the times around here. probably not as strong on those curves, I have to say. You might want to hit those a bit harder. But while we were talking, actually, Kills Rapid has gone P2 with the 20 dead as well. Did not even notice that one. Absolutely brilliant stuff from Kills Rapid. Very close to matching Merc Fusion with that lap time. But what could Rolsey do? Can he come across the line? Can he take provisional pole position for now? No, he can't. He goes P3 with a 120.2, so there's still time in that lap if he's going to be going for pole position this evening. Merc Fusion currently taking provisional pole with a 20.01.
It is quite a bit of it must be quite a disappointing lap by VRA Rolsey. He is about 5/10, half a second slower than he was able to achieve in Q2. So I do believe that he's probably thinking of doing another lap and trying to improve on that.
I'm just thinking whether he's got the fuel for that though, because I'm looking at his telemetry and the red light is flashing for low fuel. I'm not sure how much fuel he'll have left in the tank and whether he can get another lap going. But we've got 3 minutes left this qualifying session. Some yellow flags as Rolsey does let the Red Bull of Dublin man pass, so he can go for another lap. 5 drivers out on the track as of now on out laps. Make that 6 with Matt Vell, 7 with Martin. The rest of these guys all coming out now to put their lap times in. So we're going to have a whole load of times coming in thick and fast in about a few minutes.
It looks like Dublin man is about to start his final flying lap over here.
On board with Dublin man then, let's see what he can do. Coming up to the first turn, all the way down to second gear, just touching the edges of that chicane, getting good traction out of the line there. Going through the third turn, flat out through here, obviously, and coming up to the second turn. As Rolsey has retired in the pits, apologies. I was curious, he's actually retired in the pits with a 120.2, so he believes that is already strong enough to get well, I mean, he's already in Q3. Maybe he just thinks he can't get a lap time in time, I'm not sure.
I feel like it has a lot to do with the fact that he just doesn't have the time to set another lap, and it'll probably just be waiting, getting out, trying to rush to the line before the end of the session.
Yeah, I would think that probably is the case. Unfortunately, we have to. Rolsey has said goodbye to us for this session of Q3 after putting in a brilliant lap time in Q2 of a 1:19.7. Let's see what Dublin man can do though. He's going to be the first to cross the line, finish his round qualifying. He goes P3 with a 1:20.201. So he could go for another lap here, but I don't think he has an ERS for it unless he can really pace it out with a cool-down lap, but I don't think it's going to work out for him. Yellow flags in Sector 3 as Liz King has invalidated, so he's going to have to go for another lap here, just allowing Merc Fusions to go through. Merc Fusions on a flyer though. No, he isn't. He's 2 seconds down on his time, so he's not going to improve for now, but we still have quite a bit of time left in qualifying. These guys are looking a bit close, I must say, for flying laps.
JJ Hudson just set another time, pushing himself into P3.
Brilliant stuff from this man in the Ferrari. Hopefully that can cement him into a good spot for his home crowd. We've got a Haas of Matt Vell coming across the line, only good enough for P6 as of now. And Aston Martin coming across the line now as well. I think that was Martin just coming across the line. I'm not sure if no, these guys don't seem to be improving on their times, but they do have plenty of time to go for another lap. But whether they'll have the ERS for that.
I think Martin was doing a flying lap, a cool-down lap over there, because it does appear that he is on a flying lap right now.
Just as we see Tommy, yeah, no, Tommy lost it there, and he will not improve on his time in this round of qualifying. So his qualifying will be finished as of now. He's going to come back into the pits now. We've got kills we've got Merc Fusion, who's going to come across the line now. See if he can improve on his time. Yes, he does, by nearly 2/10 there. And Lizard King also improves on his time and goes P2. Merc Fusion, the only driver so far in this round of qualifying to put in a 1:19 time. We've still got plenty of drivers left to go. We've got Matt Vell coming through the Parabolica now. I think, yes, he's going for the line now. He's on a fast lap. What can he do? He stays P7 with a 1:20.2. We have an Aston Martin of Martin who's going to be coming through here. Going to go across the line. Let's see if he can improve. No, he cannot. Down on his time. Doesn't improve there. The other Haas of R7 Luke goes P5. And that is it for qualifying 3 here today at Monza. An interesting session, but no one could beat Rolsey's time from Q2, interestingly enough, and only one person managing to break into the 1:19s. Pocho, your thoughts?
I think I do think that some of the drivers succumb to a bit of the pressure. We're seeing a lot more mistakes in this session than we had seen previously in Q1 and Q2. So I do feel like drivers like VRA Rolsey may be feeling a little hard done by the session just because of their performances. As we saw, they did have a lot more left in the tank.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that. We did see Tommy, unfortunately, going for a bit of a run in the gravel towards the end of his lap there, so he wasn't able to improve. Aston Martin's only making it P9 and P10 for this round of qualifying, but that is it. What we've got coming up next is the race, so this is going to be more than interesting to see what's going to happen here. There's no guarantee pole position or a front row or any position will give you the win. Any position could give you the win, could give you a podium, could be a DNF. We absolutely don't know. That's the beauty of this league racing, and all these drivers at such a competitive level and such a consistent level. But who will succumb to the pressure? Who will keep it consistent enough is the question. I'm not sure, but we're going to find out.
It's also one thing to keep in mind, that this is kind of where the strategy starts to come into play, where whether you're starting on the mediums or the softs, we're going to start to see that some of the drivers who may have not had the pace in qualifying may have gotten it right with the strategy and be able to make moves up the field just by their strategic choices.
Absolutely, yeah. Strategic choice is obviously going to play a big part. Also, any sort of safety car is going to play a big part as well. Unfortunately, the top 10, all of them unable to make it through on the medium compounds. They're all doing it on the soft. So we're going to see more than a few different strategies across the grid, as you were saying.
Yeah, I do see the people who weren't able to get into Q3 going onto the medium tires, trying to kind of to give themselves an offset. But it will be interesting to see what they do end up doing once they get onto the grid.
Absolutely, we are just here waiting for these guys to ready up and start this race today. Not too much to talk about. I would talk about the championship standings, but the thing is, I don't think they've been updated in quite a while. I might just have a quick look, see if there is anything for me to go off. I do know Aston Martin are currently leading the constructors across all tiers, so I'm quite liking that. But
are you an Aston Martin driver?
Aston Martin driver, yes, I am.
How are you doing in tier 2? I feel like it is a good idea for some of the viewers to hear a bit about how the commentators compete in RCRL.
Yeah, sure. I'll give a quick overview. So I'm racing Tier 2. I am fighting for the title with against my current championship rival, Jay Morris. Unfortunately, my race in Monza ended in tears with I was leading. Admittedly, it was a very tight battle for the lead between myself and Jay Morris. He was within my DRS for about 15 laps.
Well, it does, even though it is a bit stressful to be the one in the driver's seat in such a competitive league title race. It is always exciting to watch, and I do hope that today we do have some close racing like we saw in Tier 2 earlier this evening.
Yeah, unfortunately there was no stream for Tier 2, but I'm not sure I would have wanted to watch that back anyway, as I did crash out.
I feel like
lap 19.
No driver wants to watch it all over again.
I mean, I probably might have done, but to be honest, it just wasn't too great to watch. It just no, and what makes it worse is just I know I'm going to lose. I had just so much progress in the championship. I was up by like 30 points, and that's all going to be stripped down, as I can't race next weekend either. So I'm going to be that championship lead's going to be cut down even more. So I'm going to have to really claw it back if I want to take on Jay Morris. He's in the Mercedes, so it's Mercedes versus the Aston Martin in Tier 2.
Quick question. In Q1, did we have the presence of KG and Feel the Power in the Mercedes and Alpine? I'm just not sure I saw them there earlier.
We did not. So this does happen sometimes, to be fair. These guys sometimes can't make it to qualifying, so they will just show up at the race and start. These guys are Kaji starting on them. Let's have a look at tyre strategy while we're at it, to be fair. Tyres detail. Yes, so already got Jensen and Posty Lad disqualified from the formation. That Posty Lad and Stone Elk, the only two in the bottom 10 or 8 or 9, I should say, on the soft tyre. So hopefully they're thinking to try and get a good start off the line and make up positions early. The rest of the grid, mediums, the rest of the bottom 9 mediums and the top 10 all starting on the soft tyres. Merc Fusion on pole position with Lizard King very close behind him on the front row. We are now waiting for these drivers to line up on the grid and get this race underway. It's going to be a tight one. It's going to be a tense one. It's going to be an extremely heated battle here at Monza. We are waiting for the lights here today. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. We've got green flags running. And it's lights out and away we go. And I think Merc Fusion managed to get a good start, but Lizard King is coming close behind. He's getting in his slipstream. Kills Rapid under a lot of pressure from JJ Hudson, who's already made up a position going up. And Lizard King goes for a huge start. Oh, and JJ, he's smashed into Merc Fusion. Hopefully not giving him any floor damage, but yellow flag sector 1. Lizard King is up into P1, but does have a time penalty to his name of 3 seconds, already having to cut the chicane. Merc Fusion is right on his tail. JJ absolutely just braking far too late there, and under a lot of pressure from the guys behind, as we have Thomas all the way at the back now losing positions, Jensen losing positions, Thomas Ord again losing more positions. What on earth is happening? This is an absolutely mental start here at Monza.
I think it is quite important to note that XTR Red and VRA Rollsy both had brilliant starts, moving up 4 and 5 positions respectively. And we should also look at JJ Hudson to see if he comes into the pit. His late braking may have caused some damage to his front wing.
Doesn't seem to affect his performance so far. He is under pressure, but I think you might be right. He does seem to be understeering quite a bit. And yes, he is coming into the pits now for a wing change, I would suspect. That move Oh, but Lizzie King is getting overtaken now. Merc Fusion's going for a move. He's found his opportunity. He was in the slipstream and goes into turn 1, and this is a much cleaner overtake than the one of JJ Hudson, who is now all the way down in P16, and 3 other drivers also having to pit for front wings, that being Posty Lad, Dublin Man and Jensen. The 2 Ferraris, P16 and P18, a horrible start for the Scuderia here at their home race.
Yeah, it was a bit of a scrappy start towards the front of the grid, and I think that it's very easy to kind of miss your braking points going into that first chicane at Monza just because of the prolonged amount of time between the start line and the first braking point.
You're absolutely right there. It's especially for these guys, the start will be probably one of the best and easiest times for them to try and make up positions and catch people lacking. But again, if you mistime your braking point, it's not going to end well, as JJ Hudson unfortunately did find out, going all the way down 12 positions. He had a very good start off the line, was the thing. He was right on the back of Kills Rapid as well, and he just braked far too late.
And the thing is, once you do brake too late, you are just a passenger. Like, there isn't too much you can do and too much steering input you can put in, just because once those front tires do end up locking up, your trajectory is your trajectory, and if there is a car going where you are going into the place you are going, you will collide, as we did see in Hungary in Formula 1 with Bottas crashing into the rest of the field.
Exactly, yeah, there's just nothing you can do. You often do just have to think. It's very hard to get caught up in the moment at the start and braking too late, thinking you can come out on top, when a lot of the times you may just, like you said, just lock up the front tyres and go straight into someone and lose your front wing. But we've got some not a lot calmer situation now. But Matt Vell, he's making a move and has made a move on Tommy through the Ascari chicane. But Tommy's had a huge mistake there, and XTR Red is now right on the back of him and is going to be looking to try and overtake. See if he can do anything.
I do believe that DRS has been enabled, so I feel like he is going to have that DRS advantage coming into this start-finish straight.
So will Tommy, to be fair, on the back of Matt Vell. I think, yes, he will get DRS. There will be a bit of a DRS train here. So this is where maybe your little adjustment in terms of... Oh, but hang on, we've got Martin in the Aston going for a move on XTR Red, who does shut the door on him going into that turn. Does not give any space whatsoever, but that is what racing is about. Martin is on the soft compounds of tyre, so he is going to have a lot of pace advantage compared to XTR Red.
One thing to note about Martin is his ERS is quite low. It does appear that he is pushing quite hard to keep up with XTR Red, who does seem to have about 50% on him in terms of ERS.
Quite a bit more actually. It's looking about 75% actually. He's conserved his ERS brilliantly on the start of this race. Tommy is on about 60-70% himself, but he is somewhat on the back foot after having a bit of a not the greatest of moments there. So yeah, XTR Red currently the only driver on the mediums to make up as many places as he has. So his already strategy is very much in his favour for now. He will get DRS on Tommy, but at this moment in time, it's not going to be worth too much. It's all going to come down to... Go ahead, man.
One thing to note is that XTR Red being on the mediums...
Oh, sorry, just to cut in there, R7 Luke has had a spin at the first chicane and has lost a lot of positions there and gone all the way down to P9.
Geez, that did not look good at all, and it's quite heartbreaking as a racer, but it is still early and he's still... Oh, and it looks like he is diving in, and he has had another spin.
Has he? Oh, I was looking at top, and Merc Fusion is actually, something's happened to him. He's lost positions to both Lizzie King and Kills Rapid now. I think he might have had a bit of a moment through that middle sector, but he is now on the back foot in terms of the front of the pack, as he's now behind Kills Rapid, who was behind him, but just something happened there, and goes quite wide there. Want to be careful, as Milan and Kaji are having a bit of a battle for that final point position. Kaji's looking like he's getting the better of the traction, and is looking going to try and send it on Milan into the Parabolica. Let's stay on board with these guys for now. But R7 Luke is looking like he's going to pick up the pieces at the end of this one. He's on the soft tyre, he's going to have more grip. Question is, can he make it stick? Going onto the main straight. Yeah, man.
That advantage given by the driver ahead in terms of giving the driver behind a tow is massive, as we could see there in that overtake, which KG did make look quite easy.
And while you were talking, XTR Red has managed to get in front of Tommy in the Aston Martin. The AlphaTauri, man in the AlphaTauri doing a brilliant job so far, starting what was it? It was down in P14 and is already up a number of places. Just going to get that up now. He's up 8 positions already, so having a brilliant race. Starting on the mediums as well, Tommy being on the softs. Are those softs dying out already is the question. XTR Red's doing a brilliant job as a racer so far, and he's looking to setting his sights on Rolsey. We do have a DRS train going. Oh, he does go a bit wide there. He wants to be careful to make sure to keep on the track, but Tommy is really struggling, as we have yellow flags in Sector 2, and I think Posty Lad is out of this race, and a safety car has been deployed.
And it does, now it's the time
there
to be making decisions as the soft runners pass the pit entrance, and it does seem like everyone is diving into the pits here to put on some fresh rubber.
Interestingly, XTR Red has decided he wants to pit as well. He's decided not to stay out and gain track position. What kind of tyres is he going to put on here? Hard, so he's going to be going to the end of the race on these tyres. He will have a much less pace, but we'll obviously have much more towards the end. That's an interesting call there from XTR Red. I don't know, what do you think about that one?
I think you are kind of in a bit of a difficult position, because you just know that your competitors are going to be getting that advantage from getting that really shortened pit stop under the safety car, and it just might be wiser to jump into the pits to live to fight another day. I think it is a difficult decision to make, but it may have been the right decision.
I'm not sure. I mean, I personally try to avoid the hard compound tyres as much as I can, because it puts you immediately on the back foot. You have to defend for your life, and at Monza defending is rather tricky. ERS really gets rinsed when you're defending here at Monza because of all the straights. And the chance of a safety car is always in the back of your mind as well.
That is true. It is really a give and take, and the hard tyre does definitely put you in a poor position in terms of battling drivers wheel to wheel. But provided that no safety car does end up showing up, Lizard King and Kills Rapid will probably start to see some quite heavy tyre degradation before the end of the race, and it might just pay off for Merc Fusion and XTR Red if it does end up getting to that point.
I do think that the medium compound runners have been put at a disadvantage here, because 7 laps gone. I mean, you change out the soft tyres and maybe about lap 10, 11-ish. So this was sort of not perfect, but a very good time to get off those tyres. And I would think the mediums will definitely last till the end of the race. The pace will drop off a bit by the end, but they'll definitely have strong pace throughout.
Yeah,
so
I know,
like,
most definitely.
But these guys, I do think, have been put in a very tricky situation and are just having to react how they can.
I was going to comment before the safety car on how good a position XTR Red was in, just because he was within the 5 seconds of the leaders. and on that medium alternative strategy, which has been shown to be so powerful in the many races before. But it does kind of seem like the timing of the safety car has thrown a spanner in the works.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd agree with that. He was XTR was in an extremely strong position there, and the safety car has very much watered down his race, especially his start as well. It was absolutely fantastic from XTR Red, and it's like you say, it's really thrown a spanner in the works, and it's ready to throw us all up in the air. Two people who have decided to stay out though on the medium tyres, Feel the Power and Thomas Ord, who were down, if I remember correctly, in the last two spots. So they've made up a lot of time here. Safety car will be in at the end of this lap. So safety car coming in very quickly. Just checking. Feel the Power has underfueled for this race, so hopefully he can get back onto that. As the safety car is coming in, he's going to be backing up the pack and trying to get a good restart. He will have Thomas Ord, Lizzie King and Kills Rapid. Two guys who were leading this race originally before the safety car came out. Let's see what they can do on their fresh tyres. Feel the Power's going for it, and Thomas Ord has been caught completely off guard and is now under a lot of pressure from Lizzie King. But Thomas Ord is going into the pits, and Feel the Power is leading this race by quite a strong margin.
It looks like Kills Rapids. It looks like Kills Rapids make a move.
Indeed he is, and Kills Rapid really having to fight hard, trying to get that position, but Lizzie King defends very well there, and now Kills Rapid is under pressure from Merc Fusion. Matt Bell quite far behind, and XTR Red trying to make a position there, but Tommy on the softer tyres will have more. Oh, but XTR Red goes into the back of Rosie there, who's on the soft tyres, interestingly. And has XTR Red gotten wing damage from that? He has! He's missing an end plate. So his race has gone down the toilet incredibly quickly after this safety car restart. He is going to have to box 4 more tyres. Oh, how horrible. That's absolutely heartbreaking.
But someone that has capitalized from XTR Red's downfall is Stonal, who seems to have gained quite a few positions and does find himself in quite a decent position at this point, so as he currently gets overtaken there by Tommy as they switch positions going into Parabolica.
And he'll be looking to try and get that position back. There won't be any. Oh, but we've got yellow flags at the back there. Is that one of the Ferraris of JJ Hudson, who has lost his front wing battling in this race? XTR Red's having to pit now. So will JJ, who's lost his front wing for the second time in this race already, and gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane to add insult to injury, but has decided enough is enough, and he is retired from this Grand Prix. Yeah, this has been quite a hectic restart, I must say.
Yes, no, it most definitely has been. And there have definitely been some winners and some losers within this restart. It does seem that there is also a bit of a spread in terms of strategy, as RCRL seems to be making a move on Merc Fusion.
Rosie starting on the softs, I do believe, in this race has decided that there probably will be another safety car and wants to make up positions here and now. He's not going for the conservative option, he's going for the aggressive option. He wants to make up moves. He's already made one on Merc Fusion. E.T. Jensen gets a 3-second penalty for corner cutting or track extensions. It's never really corner cutting. Feel the Power has done a very good job so far of keeping Lizzie King behind it, but DRS is now enabled and is going to be defending much harder as time goes on, especially considering the guys behind him are on much fresher tyres.
RCRL is someone to watch, most definitely. It does seem like in the next few laps he's going to have significantly better pace, and considering what we saw in qualifying, he might just have the outright pace on some of the drivers around him currently, and is definitely looking to make up some positions right now.
we need one of those like little screen things they have in the real F1, like I was saying earlier. Viore Rossi and Lizzie King battle. What is it like? Predicted 3 laps time, powered by AWS, that kind of thing.
Well, I may not be AWS, but I can tell you that this battle is definitely significantly closer than 3 laps, and I can see an overtake happening coming onto the finish start straight right now.
I would think that's definitely so. He might even try and get one of the moves done here, as he's not gonna go there, but he's gonna get DRS, and he's gonna have very strong pace going onto the main straight. As Merc Fusion is now going wheel to wheel with Matt Vale, but we're going to stick on board with Rosie, putting in a very strong qualifying performance as the start. But we've got a Thomas Ord who has lost his front wing, I think. Or has he? No, he hasn't. Doesn't seem to have any damage, but I think he had quite a bit of a spin there at the Ascari chicane. Rather unfortunate for him. Feel the Power has been overtaken by Lizard King, obvious as you would expect, on the fresher tyres, going to have much more pace. Rosie has also managed to get in front of Kills Rapid there and is setting his sights now on Feel the Power and Lizard King. Rosie will have to pit again before this race is done, but that's not to say that this race isn't going to have another safety car or some different strategies all over the place.
It looks like he's about to make a move right now.
Indeed he is, staying on board with Rosie for now. He gets in front of Feel the Power. Feel the Power doesn't seem to fight it too much going into the Ascari chicane, as you would expect, giving the pace advantage of Rosie. Rosie now setting his sights again, making 2 overtakes in this lap already. Can he make it Can he make it 3 is the question. I don't think he will on this lap, but he'll definitely be able to do it next lap. Will he get DRS is the question as well. I think he will. Yes. So he's going to have much more pace going into this lap.
One thing to note is that he is a bit low on ERS, which is going to make it significantly more difficult to attack the Lizard King, considering that he does seem to have been saving up the battery power a little bit better than the McLaren behind him.
You're absolutely right there. He's only on about 20% ERS, so he's going to have to maybe thinking about saving that. But if you're on the soft tyres, you're going to want to push to try and make up those positions, because you're going to need to pit again. I don't think those softs are going to last till the end of the race. I'm just going to check the race director, and yes, he will have to stop again before the end of this race in order to avoid a disqualification. But the question is, can he make the move stick on Lizard King? Not too sure, but Feel the Power he's still on those medium tyres. Let's have a look at the gap. He is a second off Kills Rapid, who's behind him, but he's still got quite a bit of he's got a fairly good gap for someone who didn't pit under the safety car, I must say. So staying. Yep.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say that it does appear that we do have a little bit of a DRS chain in the midfield as well, from ETSR Jensen all the way down to R7 Luke.
It is not uncommon for a DRS train to occur here, and while you were saying all that, Rosie has actually managed to make a move on Lizard King there. Lizard King now using a bit of VRS to try and get back at Rosie, but Rosie will have a much stronger pace advantage because of those soft tyres. He can now hold off on the ERS button. Lizard King will get DRS down this next straight, but I don't think it's going to be worth too much considering the strength of the soft tyres in terms of their grip advantage. As we've seen, that Tommy has now also made a move on Merc Fusion, who's lost it and has lost his front wing actually.
That is heartbreaking. That is heartbreaking for Merc Fusion, who has performed quite well this race.
And Lizard King's gone off as well. Lizard King has spun out and has lost part of his front wing as well, so he's going to have to box as well. It's going from bad to worse from quite a few of those guys, and Feel the Power is getting overtaken by Kills Rapid, and Lizard King is alongside Merc Fusion, is going to have to box for a new front wing. This is absolute catastrophe for some of these drivers. And he's retired.
Ooh.
He's retired.
That
he's
is
decided he has decided there is no point in trying to continue this race as Kaji tries to send it down the inside of Jensen, but is getting caught behind one of the McLarens of Milan. Merc Fusion taking his new front wing in the pits there, going on to the medium tyres. And what on earth happened there? I'm not sure what happened between those drivers, between Jensen and Kaji. I think Kaji thought there was a gap there, but it didn't seem to materialise in the end. If we want to talk about drivers who've decided to make a bit of a comeback, we've got Stone Elk currently in P6, starting all the way down in in P16 actually, as Matt Bell gets a 3-second time penalty for going wide there at the Ascari chicane. Feel the power, currently 16 positions up. He will have to pit again, but he's still in a very strong position to get some good points here today.
No, most definitely, considering that he did only come into this race after qualifying. This is quite a show by him, and taking opportunities and getting up the field.
And now Rosie has decided to pit now, so he's going to be on fresh medium tyres. We'll go to the end of the race. Let's see if the 2-stop can work out for him at all. He's been very consistent this race so far. He is down in P13. He will have quite strong pace advantage compared to a lot of the drivers in front of him who are all on hard tyres. So let's see what he can do. So we're going to keep an eye on him for the rest of the race now.
One thing to note is that he is only 20 seconds behind the leader on that fresh set of mediums, meaning that when Feel the Power does pit.
Oh, sorry, just to cut in there. Luke has spun out at the second chicane there, so I don't think he lost any front wing there, but his tyres are going to be very hot indeed. So we've got to be very careful there. We've got Thomas Ord. Something happening to him there. Appears to be going quite slowly. I'm not entirely sure why. Causing some yellow flags there. Kills Rapid currently continuing to lead this race. Feel the Power up 17 positions. Stone Elk, as I was saying last lap, one to watch as well. Oh, Luke's out! I was just saying you want to be careful. Those tyres are going to be very hot, and I think he has spun out at the Ascari chicane here. There he is, yeah. That's quite nasty.
Well, Luke, that is a painful thing to happen for Luke there. He was having quite a great qualifying and a great race up until, I believe, the first safety car. And it did seem to fall apart upon the restart. It is starting to look like we are losing a few of the races, but it is getting to the end stages, and we're starting to see. Ooh, Martin has also spun out.
Indeed he has, yes, again at the second chicane there. Thomas Ord has decided to retire in the pits. His race is over. Oh, and Gudenrav! No, he is spun as well and gone out there. Oh my goodness, it is all going pear-shaped here in Monza, as what we consider some very high-level drivers, extremely consistent, are having an absolutely awful day. Those hard tyres really aren't doing anyone any favours.
One thing to note is that VRA Rosie is profiting from all these mistakes that people ahead of him are making, and now finds himself back in the points after a bit of a shaky race restart. So it is looking quite solid for him, and it does look like he could make up some solid ground in the next 9 laps.
Indeed, we've got. I didn't even realise, but Dublin Man is on 15-lap old mediums. Is he gonna? I don't think he's gonna have to pit again if he doesn't want to, but he's gonna have a lot less pace compared to the rest. And Gurnan Rav is having to pit for fresh tyres. I'm not sure if he had any wing damage there, but maybe he thought there just wasn't any point in staying on those tyres. As Jensen is now getting overtaken, they're going wheel to wheel with Kaji through the middle sector. Is Kaji going to send it here? No, he isn't, but he will get DRS. We've got quite a battle here for P7 between Jensen, Kaji and Milan. Milan's now going to have a look at Kaji, see if he can send one into the Ascari chicane.
Ooh.
And I think he might as well. Yes, and he is. He's gone for it. And they're going wheel to wheel through the chicane. Kaji is definitely...
Ooh,
and they're really banging
there.
the tyres there. Just a little friendly nudge of the tyres there from Kaji and Milan, and Kaji manages to stay ahead just of that man in the McLaren. Milan may have a few choice words with Kaji end of this race, and Tommy, he is now getting overtaken by Matt Vell on the same age tyres. This is a rather... Oh, we've really got a midfield battle going here. But with Merc Fusion's out. Merc Fusion's out of the race. Where is he? And virtual safety car. Virtual safety car has been deployed. And the safety car is out. This is going to massively benefit Rosie, but also those who have stayed out. Feel the Power is in a really strong position here, as he chose to stay out on those medium tyres for 18 laps. Dublin Man also in a great position if he can pit now. But this is also why I never go for the hard tyres, because your race could be so easily just ruined by this.
No, exactly. No, that is 100% true. I think looking at this and looking at the map, you can see that some of the hard runners might feel a little bit hard done by, because their tires may have only now started to be getting into their elements, but now they're going to have to pit along with the people ahead of them and not be able to make up positions they felt they may have without the safety car's presence.
Absolutely. Kills Rapid, Feel the Power, both going to the pits, as well as Mattville, Tommy, Dublin Man, Stone Elk. I get a feeling I know where this is going. Jensen, Milan, Kaji. Rosie stays out. He's gonna go P1. Yes, he is.
Imagine. That is brilliant. That is brilliant, I must say. He does have a bit of a battle on his hands coming out, but he definitely was the one to profit from the safety car the most out of all the drivers.
Absolutely. Him, in my opinion, Feel the Power profited from this massively. He does have a bit of an issue on his hand, though. Literally everyone behind him is on the soft tyres. So he's going to have a lot of work to do in terms of defending his position, I do have to say.
No, most definitely. And it doesn't look like penalties are going to be too much of a decide on how the grid ends up at the end of the race. Besides Matt Val and ETSR Jensen, we're not seeing a lot of the drivers having penalties.
Yeah, absolutely. I would suspect a few warnings have probably been given out. Oh, it was a tough call for Rosie to make, to be fair, but I do think his race, it's not really. Has it been compromised? It's still massively to play for here. Whether he can keep all those guys behind him is the question. I'm not sure how well he's going to be able to do that as a thing. Those mediums have plenty of life left in them, but those softs are going to be extremely powerful for the next 6-7 laps of this race.
No, understandably so, but like everyone here is a racer, and they feel like they'd rather have their fate in their own hands and be able to defend their way to a victory instead of taking this slightly safer route and going to box. But I feel like it's very understandable why he did decide to stay out, just to try have a bite at the apple.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've had to make a few of these tricky decisions myself, and I know one example was at Silverstone, where we had a safety car come out at it was at a time where my medium tyres had plenty of life left in them, but the question was, should I box for more softs? And I decided to stay out on my mediums. Pretty much everyone behind me, apart from about 2 drivers, went for softs, and I was able to bring it home and take the win. But the question was, it was really all up in the air whether I could defend that position with all those. Because these guys are going to be these guys are going to be like a whole. It's going to be like throwing someone in a pond full of piranhas, is what it's going to be like. These guys are going to be right on his back heel.
Biting at his
right
heels.
there looking. Exactly, they're going to be right there looking to get that position back from him, and he's going to have to defend with all his might. I think the safety car will be coming in this lap. I suspect it will. It is, yes. All the field is packed up and ready to go. Rolsey is going to be pushing that pack all as far back as he can go. He wants to get the better of Kills Rapid and feel the power to get the better restart. He's going to be swerving around to get the heat into those tyres, and the question is, when will he make the jump? He needs to get the jump on Kills Rapid here if he wants any chance of defending his position.
Yeah, it does seem to be backing everyone up, trying to get that moment to get a gap on Kills Rapid.
And there he is, he's gone. Kills Rapid, I think, managed to react fairly strongly there, and he is already in the slipstream and on the back of Rolsey there, and they're going to go wheel to wheel into turn 1, I do believe, but I think Rolsey's going to have the inside line. Is this going to be a Lewis Hamilton, Max Verstappen wheel to wheel? It is, but it doesn't end up in the gravel. Rolsey manages to get the better traction. Kills Rapid is going to have the better straight line speed, though, is the key here. He should be able to defend his position unless Kills Rapid goes for an absolutely ballsy move into this chicane here. He thinks better of it, but gets much better traction than Rolsey out of this turn here. He's got the inside line now, and he takes the lead. He was indeed. Unfortunately, Rolsey has not been able to keep this lead, and now he's got everyone else behind him. But I think he's still going to try and make it stick. Can he get in front of Kills Rapid again? And he might send it here, you know. He thinks better of it, but he needs the traction, but he just can't get it because his tyres just don't have the grip compared to these guys all on soft tyres.
And extremely soft tyres, extremely fresh soft tyres at that. This is going to be a very, very difficult race for Rolsey to make something of here.
Rolsey's, his red light was flashing, so he had used up all his ERS that he could use this lap, and now feel the power in the Alpine is going wheel to wheel. His places are dropping one by one. Doubleman sending one down the inside on Matt Vell. They're going wheel to wheel through the first chicane. Rolsey unfortunately has to settle for third now, with Matt Vell close behind him. Not as close as you'd like, but we've got Doubleman and Tommy going wheel to wheel now. Now these guys are all going to be fighting for position as well. They're all on soft tyres. Tommy sends it down the inside and really hits that curb hard and goes into. Oh, there's a bit of front wing. Someone's lost a bit of front wing there. I saw a bit of front wing flying about. Oh, but as we stay on board with Milan, he's spun around, and everyone has to take quite a lot of avoiding action there to stay out of his way.
Ooh, that is not great to see. That is not great to see, but with tight racing comes these little bumps that cause people to spin out in the tighter corners.
As we have watched Milan now trying to get back up to pace, but he needs to be careful because his tyres are going to be very, very hot indeed, and he just can't go flat out until they've cooled down. If he tries to go flat out here, he's just going to lose it, is the thing. Yeah, just staying on board with him. He can't seem to do too much. There's absolutely no grip on those tyres. But now Rolsey is losing more positions. Not too bad, to be fair, because Matt Vell will have a penalty at the end of this race that he will have to serve, that 3-second penalty. So as long as Rolsey stays within that 3 seconds and keeps fourth position, he will still make it onto the podium. But Tommy he's not too close, to be fair. Milan does decide to retire in the pits. Jensen's having to pit as well for some more tyres and another front wing. Really not Ferrari's race today at Monza today. Kills Rapid continues to lead. Kills Rapid does continue to lead, however. Yellow flag sector 1, that's just Milan, I do believe, who's retired. Kills Rapid continues to lead, but Feel the Power is still right on the back of him. Rolsey is still within DRS range of Matt Vell, but for how long for is the question, and can Tommy catch up with him? I think he can. He is within DRS range, and now Rolsey is going to be looking in his mirrors and just defending for all he can muster.
It does look like we have a tight battle for fifth coming over here between Tommy and Dublin, who do seem to be battling it out. And it does appear that Dublin might send a move down the inside, but decides better first as well.
Someone else who's managed to do quite well from this safety car is XTR Red, who was in a very strong position to start, but someone spun out there. That's Gunan Rav. Again, really not a great race for him. We saw him spin out there. We saw him spin out in Sector 2 earlier today, but now he spun out again in Sector 1 at the first chicane. Just too much throttle. XTR Red has to take evasive action there going through the chicane, as I think he was trying to send a move or defend a move from someone, but oh man, this race is really heating up towards the end with 3 laps to go, coming up to 2.
No, most definitely. Bad news for RCRL is it does appear to have lost the DRS on the people ahead of him, meaning that Tommy and Dublin Man will be hunting him down.
Yeah, but he can also breathe a slight sigh of relief as Tommy and Dublin Man have been battling out so much. Tommy is completely out of ERS. Dublin Man has quite a bit more to spare, so I think if RCRL is very lucky, and I think he just might be, Tommy and Dublin Man's battling out will be able to secure him that position. As we stay on board with Dublin Man, Tommy defends hard to the inside.
Brilliant defending.
Indeed, a very good defence there from Tommy. The defending world champion, I should add. This man won the championship last season. Hasn't been as strong as he was last season, unfortunately, but is still very much on the race pace when it comes, and very much on the defending stance of it as well. Just 1.5 laps to go here. Feel the Power has actually got in front of Kills Rapid while we weren't looking. Feel the Power now leads this race from Kills Rapid and Matt Vell, who does have a 3-second time penalty. So if Rolsey can just stay within that time, he will be able to get onto the podium after a very, very... Well, he may not be able to make the positions here as drove a very, very strong race, I have to say.
No, he most definitely has. I think he did make it a little hard for himself at some points in this race, and especially in qualifying. But no, he's definitely pulled back quite a performance out of this race.
Absolutely. We come on now to the last lap of this Grand Prix. Tommy is going to try and send a move here on Rolsey. I think he might just be able to do it. He is ahead going into the first chicane. Rolsey defends for all he can. There might have been a bit of contact there, but Tommy is now ahead of that man in the McLaren, and Dublin Man is now setting the sights on him. Matt Vell continues his way in P3. If he can just make up 7/10 on Tommy, he can secure that position in P3. But the question really is all about these two up front. Feel the Power and Kills Rapid, within less than half a second of each other, are battling hard for this win. Who is it going to be? Is it going to be the man in the Alpine, or is it going to be Kills Rapid in the Williams? Are the questions we're all asking. Kills Rapid will get DRS going onto the last straight, but it won't matter as the DRS zone comes after
he does
the
seem
checkered
to
flag
be
line.
catching up slowly though.
Slowly and surely, he is getting closer and closer. Dublin Man does manage to make a move on Rolsey, who now has to settle for P6. But Feel the Power in the Alpine is going to come home to win the Italian Grand Prix. Kills Rapid comes home to make it a Williams podium. Tommy gets promoted to P3, Dublin Man P4. Matt Vell has to settle for P5 after a 3-second time penalty. I couldn't even read the rest of the grid as it ended so quickly. Absolutely fantastic ending to that race. Feel the power.
I can't
Driver
disagree.
of the day. Absolutely fantastic drive from him.
Well deserved.
Absolutely brilliant.
I think he actually came from last to first, which in Tier 1 must take a massive performance to do.
I cannot disagree with that in the slightest. I'm not sure how many last to firsts I've seen before in Tier 1. I know I've seen definitely one before, Wedgie, who did a last to first on Vietnam in F1 2020. But let's have a look. P19, it was indeed a last to first for Feel the Power. An absolutely fantastic drive for him. Kills Rapid has to settle for P2 after starting P3. Tommy comes home to make it a podium for the Aston Martin team. Dublin Man, good work from him taking P4. Matt Vell and Rolsey unfortunately didn't able to benefit from the second safety car with everyone behind him on the soft compounder tyre. XTR Red, good recovery from him as well after his unfortunate incident after the first safety car. Stone Elk, Kaji, Martin, Goonan Rav, Jensen Milan and Merc Fusions actually just down to Jensen finish off the grid. A whole number of DNFs unfortunately having to come through there. But a more than exciting race there for you guys to witness.
No, you really can't complain. You really can't complain with entertainment like that. I feel like no one really did expect what happened to have happened, and I feel like all of the guesses we made to who may win the race were all wrong when it came to the end of the race, and it was quite a brilliant and exciting race with a lot to happen over the entirety of the distance.
Absolutely. Well, that's going to wrap it up for this evening in RCRL, the Tier 1 Championship, with Feel the Power taking an absolutely deserved win here at Monza. My name has been Wado. I've been joined by Potra. We're going to be doing more commentary, I hope, in the future. Do join us next week for more RCRL racing here on the RCRL channel. Thank you very much for watching, and good night.